When people see success, they usually think it started with this really big win. Wasn't the case here. The Balanced Hustler is here. Back in 2005, I had a call center with my boy, Whitey Cracker. Shout out to Bryce. I wouldn't be in digital marketing without him and his expertise, but I'll jump into that in my backstory later. But basically, I had a call center with him, and we were doing payday loan customer reacquisitions. So essentially, a good customer that came in, had a loan with the company that we were partnered with and paid it off, we'd call and try to get them back to borrow from us again because they were a good customer. Well, in 2005, out of the blue, the do not call list evolved and basically made my other partner that was involved in the call center feel like it was too much of a liability to have an outbound calling. And literally like this, we were dead in the water. And that changed everything for me because at that point I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? Like what I'd put all my eggs in this basket to run this call center and own it, and now it's not here, and I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5. And for a year I was able to travel and really try to build my what I was going to do next mentality and make essentially, some changes to my life. And I remember basically just sitting there and taking a look at our stats of what had happened and thinking, where do we go from here? What are we going to do? And then I learned something. If you don't adapt, you disappear. And that's one of the biggest things I say in a lot of these videos. With any business you do, you have to constantly be evolving your skills. Every ending is a redirection, and that's a big thing, and you have to be able to kind of start forecasting, checking into your health, checking into things so you don't let something that could be solved now at a much smaller lead into a huger issue, and I recommend that for everybody, checking into your health, making sure, you're healthy inside and etc. But basically, a lot of this boils down into diversifying and making huge changes in your life. And what I did from there was I took connections I was making and utilized them to jump into digital marketing, where I would be able to work remotely. But essentially at this time in 2007, everybody was office environment. You had an office and you had your staff in there, etc. So we jumped into that. I used to think failure was the end. Now I know it's a compass. Identity versus industry. Back then I learned your identity is your industry. If your identity is built on the ability to learn, you'll always land on your feet. I stopped trying to tie my worth to a title and tying it to my work. That was my identity. And that was a huge thing when I really found what I was good at and how I was going to evolve from there. Slow down to see the map. And this is huge. Sometimes to see the map clearly, you have to completely slow down and study it and see its path and let it take its course. When I wanted to find my way into email, it was basically a brand new thing. I was a deer in the headlights. I had no idea in 2007 you can send email to a list, whatever you have of clients, and make money on it. I did not know that was a thing. It was something that I'm like, I get email every day and I don't make money on it. I send email every day and I did not get the affiliate part of it, and which was so huge. And that learning curve, man, was it this big. You had to learn so much because it was a lot of technical things, and I was not a tech savvy person. And I still don't consider myself tech savvy. I adapt, and I've been able to fill people in to where I can run a whole business with my strengths and their strengths aligned. And that's a key to, having your map lined out. You have to know where you're going on it and who's going to help get you there, right? And one of the main things I always wanted to have was a very good team. You have to have a strong team. And making the right adjustments and basically making yourself stand out from the next. And that's one big thing I do in my marketing is I try to be different. Even doing this, you know, a lot of people do videos, but I don't want it to be done just the way I do it. I want to bring different knowledge, some cool things I do, and hopefully it helps everybody. I don't want it just to be something you watch and waste 9-10 minutes of your life. I want you to be like, this dude's pretty cool, man. He has a cool thing on it. He does cool stuff. And I love my life. I really do. It may not be for everybody, and that's cool and all. But if it touches you and you're like, hey, man, I like this, keep watching, man. Keep looking into this and see exactly what we could do on this voyage together and make it cool. You know, I still am not getting a lot of feedback from my people, man. Show some love. Tell me what you'd like to see. So I stopped asking myself in this marketing for what do I do next, you know, and I basically made my own adjustments. I basically put myself in a different realm, a different thought process, and mentally, you know, I had to build up my mental strength and say, you know, here's what I expect out of myself. I have X amount of money that I want to make a month to live, right? And how do I get there? And without setting real goals, I don't care what you do. I mean, I really don't. If you don't have goals, you're never going to succeed. That's the reality of it. If you're not gonna track your workouts, if you're just gonna not track what you eat or care about what you eat and limit it, and at least you don't have to even write it down if you're a good person at memorizing it, right? But in business and work and retirement, you have to track these things. You have to have goals. You can't just say, I'm gonna wing everything and just hope it pans out, because that's not gonna work. It really is not. And if everything feels like it's falling apart for you right now, it's not. It's just your alignment. Reinventation isn't the plan, but it's a skill that keeps you relevant. And that's the balanced hustler. So with all that said, y'all, I want everybody to know that the whole purpose of all this isn't some over talking guru stuff. And I'm not just trying to stretch this video out, but it's bringing balance, what I do to my life, and hopefully it helps your life, right? I know working out's important, you know, for your health, mental health and physical health. Having a hobby, whether you love fishing, boating, you know, I do jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and I love to do like this kind of stuff is one of my hobbies, you know, the filming and stuff. And I love to do it, so I don't dread it. I just want to be the best at it, you know, that I can be. And that's one of the things I have. Having a good balance in your life, man. If you're married and having a good spouse, I feel like that is so crucial, man. And that's something I can't tell everybody enough. I was married previously, and, you know, we were not good partners. And it was a very detrimental point in my life, because it was hindering my business to be able to be successful. And it was hurting my children at the time I was raising. And since then, and I realigned my life, just like I said in this video, and I had to start from scratch. It's been the best decision ever. I have an amazing wife. She loves everything I do. I do want to get her on the videos, but she really doesn't like the whole filming thing, but I will get her on some, and she brings so much value. She's an amazing cook. I even have a little thing of cooking with T-Dog, where we just cook some healthy meals. We prep out for a week too, because she loves to cook. She doesn't like that I just get my meals prep brought here, and we have kids, family we have to cook for. So that's a huge part of the balance too, and to manage your money, getting money, all those things in perspective. And one thing that the Balanced Hustler does is go after money. And I love making money. I love waking up on the hustle. I start from zero every day, and I get in there and make that money each and every day. You know, stockbrokers do it. You know, a lot of investment bankers, things of that nature, car salesmen, they go up and go get after it, right? I want all my Balanced Hustlers to do the same. Get up and get after it. I'm going to bring a lot of what I do in digital marketing. So hopefully if you like that or interested in that at all, or you're doing it now and you're on your hustle and you want to talk more about that, the digital marketing, stay tuned. But as always, please hit the like and subscribe button and send some comments. And until next time, man, it's your boy, the Balanced Hustler. I'm out. I'm about to go to a happy hour today because it is Friday. And hopefully shoot some footage. So if you're ever in Colorado Springs, Colorado, I have the dopest happy hour spots out there, period, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But good drinks, good food, and good deals. The three things I love there. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.